Yes. Yeah. No problem. You always no stop. We're good. You are done first. Except for her.
Everyone, please stand for the pledge. Mr. Fernandez is absent tonight. Mrs. Gaddy,
Here.
Mr. Kraus,
Here.
Mrs. Manini,
Here.
Mr. Masiello,
Here.
Mrs. Romano,
Here.
Mrs. Ogilvy.
Here.
May I please have a motion to appoint Sarah Lively temporary chairman?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mrs. Gaddy, seconded by Mrs. Zuckerby. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried 6-0. Okay, we're going to take the agenda a little bit out of order tonight to have student presentations first. Mrs. Eckert will present the students.
Yes, thank you to everyone for a little bit of indulgence, but I don't really want to have our students sitting through a reorg meeting. So Oscar, are you ready with yours? Oscar Reyes is one of our students in our Academy of Engineering. And as a senior project, they all have to come up with a senior project that they do related to some of the coursework that they've had or an interest that they have in pursuing engineering in the future. So Oscar is going to share with us the project that yep, you could just turn this mic on. I think, yes. Yeah, because they recorded. Yeah.
Hello? Hi everyone, I'm here to present my senior project, which I did for the Academy of Engineering. This is about bringing virtual reality to North Rockland High School. So pretty much my first idea was just to be able to redesign classrooms, and you don't have to just move things all the time. You can just do it online, and then if you like it, you could do it. But then the idea I liked better was for freshmen that are incoming, they could actually just go into the model and just kind of walk around, so they, the first week of school, you don't get lost, things like that, so you know where the classrooms are all at already. So the overview is, I'm going to use this software, or I did use this software called Unity, which actually allows you to take up the schedule model, which I had of the school, or parts of the school, and I loaded into virtual reality. So VRChat is pretty much the engine which the program is actually loaded up into, and it's an online game, but for this instance we use it privately just so not random people don't access the model and just walk around with you, because that'd be weird. So the first idea was to take the classroom I was actually in while making this and put that into virtual reality, but when I first did that I was like, this is too little, I feel like I could do a lot more. So I took it a step further. So I don't know if you guys know the high school, I'm hoping you do, but the top left is the auditorium. Over there on the top right is the tech hallway. Down here is the main foyer, and the bottom right is the library. And I had a few issues I had to run into because these were models provided by previous students that my teacher, Mr. Armstrong, had. So since for human error, there was a wall, the main foyer wall, and the auditorium wall didn't work together. So I had to redesign that whole wall just so they connect. So this is the final model that I have. I know it's not the whole school, but it was a good start from what I had. So this is a little video of me walking around the actual model in virtual reality. So this is the auditorium. I know it's a little empty because if I add too many details, then the computer can get slow, and the stronger the computer, then the better the model you can load. Here's the library. That's the main foyer. And then right here is the vending machines, and then you can go into the tech hallway. And then this is Mr. Armstrong's room. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been in there, but it's room 107. And this one's the most detailed because that was the most detailed model I had. But then I could have added more information to the other ones, but then I didn't want that issue of lag. Okay, so to accomplish this, I pretty much took the SketchUp model that I had and I exported it as a .fbx file, which is made by Autodesk. And Autodesk, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but they make AutoCAD and a lot of other programs that we use in our technology department. And then after I loaded that same file into Unity, and I used VRChat's SDK, which is their software development kit, which pretty much lets me just log into it. I just put a little point for me to like load into and like, you know, like spawn. I don't know if you guys, but then I just click the button new build and actually just the whole model is in virtual reality. As simple as that. And then okay, so pretty much the constraints I had was if I put too many details, then the computer might be slow, laggy, and then how you're gonna enjoy the actual model if you're kind of just moving inch by inch and not being able to actually look around. Another issue I had was that if I put the VR near sunlight, I could burn out the lenses and you won't be able to see anything. And of course, you need power, you need internet to load up the model. So pretty much, let's say the school wanted to incorporate and get more of these VR systems in the computers. A VR-ready computer would have to be at least like $820. And if you want something that can load up a bigger model, like a full school with everything loaded in, you would probably want to go for a higher priced computer. And then the Oculus Rift, which I use for mine, is only $350. So safety online. I know there's been a lot of issues with school shootings and things like that. And some people might see this as an issue, like, oh, they could just use this model to kind of, you know, walk around. They're gonna know where every entrance of the school is at, you know, all the exits, all that. But my idea was to take a full model and pretty much just block every single window and like all the doors just so they can't see the exits and entrances of the school. And like we could also restrict the access of the model, like to be able to download it to only school accounts, like people with their like northrockland.org accounts or like just to the school download, not students. But like I know the student will have access to the account and they might be using it against us, but they already know every corner of the school because they go to the school. So the physical safety, you know, when you're going on VR, you're not looking around and your physical things. So what I did was when I actually presented it, I put ropes around and like blocked it off so you can't just wander and run into something and hurt yourself. Here's someone playing VR. This is what we're trying to avoid. Does anyone have any questions about this or?
What was the most challenging piece of this for you?
The most challenging piece was really just loading it in and making sure everything worked together. Like when I put into Unity, I had to make sure, because I had issues where I was falling from the ground and like walking through walls and things, so I had to put like constraints so you couldn't just fall a bunch and just, you know. And
How many days did it take to get the program that?
like the model, like putting it all together, how long did it take for that?
Yeah.
I think it took me like a week since I had to also reconstruct that whole wall. Like I'd take down 2 walls and then combine them into one, make sure everything looked good, resize things, different things like that. Oh, okay. So in tech, I've pretty much taken DDP, which is in 9th grade I took. 10th grade I took CAD, which helped me learn more about SketchUp, which pretty much taught me the lessons and skills that I needed to put everything together. 11th and 12th grade I was in Academy of Engineering, and I'm also in AP, well, I was in AP Computer Science. That's pretty much the tech class that I took at North Rockland.
I just want to say that how much work that was done in preparation, such a comprehensive presentation that you made, Oscar. Oscar grew up in my neighborhood, and my 3 boys were 10 years older than him, but he'd always come over, watch us play basketball, participate. He had a lot of passion for learning. So they've always been asking about you, so I'll tell them what you're up to. But congratulations on such a great presentation, Oscar.
And are Ryan Curtis, Jared Fiskus, Emmanuel Joseph, and Grant Romanoff here? I didn't think I had seen them, but these 4 boys won a bronze medal at the New Balance Outdoor Nationals. They also set a Rockland County record, and they also, after trying for 2 years, this year finally attained an All-American designation. So we're very proud of them, and hopefully they're enjoying their vacation and away somewhere resting, because I know that they worked very hard to earn this. So we will get the certificates to them. And is Sophie here? I can't see Sophie either. But Sophie Morello is Rockland County's Player of the Year. She's a golfer. And I think this is our first time that we have a golfer that has reached that level of excellence and accomplishment. And we're so proud. She's an excellent student, a senior this year. And again, we're so proud of Sophie for achieving Player of the Year for soccer this year. Congratulations to all.
Okay, we're going to move into the reorganization meeting first. First orders of business is to administer the oath of office to our newly elected board member, Ida Manini, and our re-elected board member, Robert Masiello.
I, Ida Manini,
Solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of
of
trustee of the Haverstraw Stony Point Central School District according to the best of my ability.
trustees of the Haverstraw Stony Point Central School District according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Congratulations. Mr. Masiello? Please raise your right hand and repeat after me.
I, Robert Maciel,
Solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of
trustee of the Hamstrung Stony Point Central School District,
trustees of the Haverstraw Stony Point Central School District,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I promise to keep that plant alive through my entire term. Get better.
Our next order of business is to call for nominations for president.
I'm Robert Maciel.
Mrs. Gaddy, seconded by Mr. Kraus. Okay, are there any other all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Are there any other nominations? Right, hearing no other nominations, Mr. Masiello is now the board president for a second year. Congratulations. Mr. Masiello, would you please read the oath of office?
I, Robert Maciello,
Solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of
President of the Haverstraw Stony Point Central School District Board of Education,
President of the Haverstraw Stony Point Central School District Board of Education,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Then thank everyone. I want to thank the board for having confidence in me. I had a tough act to follow last year with Mary Romano, and I just get a lot of support. And I'm sorry that Rich is not here tonight, but I'm sure he'll hear the tape, and we'll work on that nomination next. But however, I just want to say it's a good year, tough year, and I'm looking forward to all the challenges coming up. So thank you all very much, and thank everyone.
Okay. Mr. Masiello will now preside over the rest of the meeting.
Okay, now we will proceed with the nomination for Vice President. Mrs. Huckabee, second by Mrs. Romano. Any discussion? All in favor? Any nays? Motion passes 6-0. Are there any other nominations from the floor for Vice President? Seeing there are none, Mr. Fernandez is officially elected Vice President of the Board. And we'll have to swear him in at a later date, and we can go forward from there and make that official. Okay. Now we're going to have the appointment of the clerk.
Second.
Mrs. Gaddy, second by Mrs. Huckabee. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes 6-0. Congratulations, and we'll have to swear you in. Raise your right hand, repeat, please.
I, Sarah Lively,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
District Clerk of the Haverstraw Stony Point Central School District,
District Clerk of the Haverstraw Stony Point Central School District,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The reason why things go so smoothly is because Sarah is a pro at this. She makes us look good. Now we're going to have the appointment of the district treasurer, oath of office.
So
Mrs. Gaddy, second. Mrs. Huckabee. Any discussion? All in favor?
aye.
Any nays? Motion passes 6-0. We'll now administer we will administer the office at a future date. Okay, I'd like to ask for the appointment of a substitute treasurer oath of office. I guess you're pointing me. Okay, I forgot to say that. Mrs. Romano, second by Mr. Kraus. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Thank you for your confidence. Like to sign?
Please raise your right hand.
I, Robert Maciello,
Solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of substitute treasurer
of the Habsburg State.
of the Habsco Stony Point Central School District, according to the best of my ability. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Use of the consent agenda permits the Board of Education to make more effective use of time by adopting a single motion to cover those relatively routine matters which are included. Any member of the board who wishes to discuss individually a particular piece of business on the consent agenda may so indicate that item and will be transferred to the regular agenda for consideration and a separate vote, thus preserving the right of the board of members to be heard on any issue. And I had a motion. Mrs. Gaddy, second by Mrs. Manini. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Okay. So can I have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Kraus? Yes, then we'll be getting to the regular meeting. Can I have a second on the adjournment? Mrs. Sigley. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Now we're going to our regularly scheduled meeting.
Yes, we can dispense with the pledge. I'll read the roll call. Mr. Fernandez is absent tonight. Mrs. Gaddy? Mr. Kraus? Mrs. Manini? Mr. Masiello?
Here.
Mrs. Romano? And Mrs. Ugly.
Do we have board member reports? I know Rich is absent.
I make a motion to accept the agenda.
Thank you. Second by Mrs. Sigley. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Thank you, Mrs. Caddy. Board member reports. Mr. Romano, please.
I have the board member report from Mr. Fernandez. We would like to congratulate Mr. Masiello and Mrs. Manini on being sworn in tonight for 3-year Board of Education trustee terms. We wish them much success, and we thank them for their service, of course. We thank our administrators, faculty, and staff for hosting another successful North Rockland High School graduation. We had a total of 620 graduates. Congratulations to all graduates and their families. We also thank our administrators, faculty, and staff for hosting numerous moving up ceremonies and other end-of-year events for all of our students. Full sports commenced the week of August 19th. Modified sports begin the week of September 4th. Reminder, the North Rockland Central School District has transitioned to online athletic registration. All student athletes must register online. Congratulations to West Haverstraw Principal Mary Esposito and the West Haverstraw Elementary School and Haverstraw Elementary School staff for their work with the Yale Institute for Emotional Intelligence and the Sadie's Magazine Vanguard. The Sadie's Magazine Vanguard recently published Mrs. Esposito's piece describing their work. So congratulations. And we wish you all a wonderful 4th of July as we celebrate the 243rd year of our independence. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Romano. And we'll thank Mr. Fernandez for somehow knowing, well, without being here, what transpired. Okay, now we're going to have a food service department update. Mr. Senna?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Masiello. Every year, our school lunch director, Ray Pasalipo, has to do a particular spreadsheet with the State Education Department, and it's called the Paid Lunch Equity Tool. And what this particular equation does is, because we do have free and reduced subsidies from the state and federal government, they want to make sure that the paid lunch students aren't getting subsidized by the free and reduced program. Turns out that this equation is requiring us to increase our lunch prices in the middle school and the high school from $2.75 to $3 this coming year. The last time we had increased our lunch price district-wide was 6 years ago, so it's taken some time it's always been on a level plane. It hasn't been increased in 6 years. We've compared this to other districts in not only Rockland, but also Putnam and Orange counties, and we are the lowest school at that level. So we wanted to just bring this to everybody's attention, and we will be sending out information in the near future in regards to the September start of school. Also, there's one other thing I'd like to tell you, and it's very good news for our district. We applied for the community free breakfast and lunch program through the state and federal government, and we were approved. This is for our K-6 schools. All 6 schools will have free breakfast and free lunch, no matter what. It doesn't make a difference whether free, reduced, or paid. Everybody, we fit the requirement so that all of our students will have those meals for free. Again, information will be coming out rather soon, so we can give you the information, and everybody will be up to date with what's going on in that program as well. Thank you.
We're very excited about this, and Ray has worked very hard to get that application in, and we will be getting information out to the community. I'm working with Scott Salato to put together some flyers so that parents K-6 fully understand that. And we still remind parents that for the paid lunches at Fieldstone in the high school, and also for snacks, because this doesn't cover snacks, so K to 6, if children still wish to purchase snacks, they still can, and the parents can still use the online accounts to put the money in so that the children don't have to physically bring money into school. So we'll be reminding parents of all of that in the near future.
Thank you, Mr. Seno, Mrs. Eckert. Moving on to old business. Any correspondence?
No correspondence.
Okay, we'll now move to public comment. Board of Education welcomes comments from the community. If you wish to address the board, please sign in. Going to move forward to retirements. Let up on the screen. And if I can have Mr. Kraus read the first retirement.
Ronnie Moshe. Whereas Mr. Ronnie Moshe has served North Rockland Central School District with dedication for a total of 16 years. And whereas he has submitted his resignation for retirement purposes, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, hereby accepts with deep regret resignation of Ronnie Moshe, special subject E&L teacher, effective July 1st, 2019. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education wishes Mr. Moshe and his family much happiness in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Kraus. May I have a second by the whole board? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Is Ronnie Moshe available this evening? Let's wish him a healthy and great retirement. Mrs. Ziggy, would you read the next, please?
Whereas Ms. Anne Marie Marino has served the North Rockland Central School District with dedication for a total of 24 years. And whereas she has submitted her resignation for retirement purposes, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, hereby accepts with deep regret the resignation of Anne Marie Marino, elementary teacher, effective July 1st, 2019. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education wishes Ms. Marino and her family much happiness in the future. And then Mr. has to be changed, because there's a mistake in the bottom of the resolution.
Okay. We'll make that correction, Mrs. Ziggy. Thank you. May I have a second by the whole board?
Yes.
Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Is Ms. Marino available this evening? Okay, we'll wish her a happy and healthy retirement. That completes the retirement. And now we're back to our regular meeting consent agenda. Use of consent agenda permits the Board of Education to make more effective use of time by adopting a single motion to cover those relatively routine matters which are included. Any member of the board who wishes to discuss individually a particular piece of business on the consent agenda may so indicate, and that item will be transferred to the regular agenda for consideration in a separate vote, thus preserving the right of all board members to be heard on any issue. May I have a motion on the consent agenda? Mr. Romano, second by Mrs. Manini. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. And was there anyone who had an appointment that is available tonight? Okay, would you please stand, if you wouldn't mind one at a time, and say who you are and what school you'll be working in?
Okay, Alden Park Elementary School. Music teacher.
Rebecca, what would you be teaching? Orchestra music. Thank you very much.
Anyone who's being appointed tonight, just stand up and then we'll get to you one at a time.
Okay, the next in front.
I'm really ashamed. I feel so bad.
Congratulations. Right here, this gentleman. Lady behind. Behind her.
Hi, I'm Cindy Spadassini, LP Studies. Here at Fieldstone, seventh grade.
Some lady right in front of me here. Allow me to swing over to this side, please. This gentleman here. Front, please. The white dress. Gentleman to the right. Very well.
Good evening, I'm Banana. Worker at Royal American. I'm Nicole Descoli, I'm
Excellent. Well, welcome to you all, and thank you for everything that you're starting and where you're starting at, and we welcome you aboard. Thank you very much.
I'd just like to take a moment to thank Chris and precisely Eric, because as you can see, he's been a busy guy in his office, but also all our administrators and everyone who has served on our many search committees. It's a lot of work, and obviously we had a lot of retirements this year, a lot of positions to fill. We're very happy with our new crop of teachers and teaching assistants and everything else that we've hired in the last couple of weeks. We welcome you, but I really did want to thank our staff that has made this happen, and in particular Eric for all his hard work to get you to this place. And he had to pedal fast in some instances. I think we were meeting with people this morning, so thank you.
Okay, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn by Mrs. Sugabee and second by Mrs. Manini. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. I want to thank everyone for coming out on our reorg night. It's a long meeting, but we're looking forward to a really great new year. And thanks for coming to the meeting.
Congratulations.